Hello everybody and welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways. And yeah, all the dogs are enjoying their chews. They just finished their supper and everybody's got their own chew and they all find their own little place to lay down and chew it. That's what I keep telling them every time I give it to them, so there's no fighting over who's got what chew. Although some of them are faster at eating it than others. And then they go around looking to see if anybody else left anything behind. There's little girl. Better eat that up, little girl. Somebody's going to grab it. Yeah. So anyway, today I tackled the replacing the solar panels on the van. So let me climb up there and show you what I did. I'm going slow because I'm using one hand to climb here. Okay, so here's the solar panels. That's 200 watts. And here's the connections that go into the van. That wasn't hard to change those over. I put some weather-tight, watertight shrink tubing on them, heated them down, and then coated them with hot wax from glue gun so that I could make sure that they didn't blow around in the wind. I've got them all tacked into place, and it wasn't that big of a deal. I did have to move that rack back a 1/4 inch. Because these were a little bit larger with these plastics on the corners, and didn't want to tear those off and go through that pain in the neck ritual, so that's what I got. So I now have my 200 watts of solar coming in. And holding 12.3 right now because the sun is on the other side of the containers. But that's good. Yep, 12.3 on both of the controllers. I'll be taking that one controller off of here. I don't need it anymore. I could have switched the Harbor Freight one out for that one and put an MPPT on, but they're both reading the same charge. They're both doing the same thing. So I don't think that's an MPPT. I actually think that so that's one of those Chinese trickery things where they just put the letters MPPT on it and everybody buys into it thinking it is. Because usually MPPTs take up a little bit more space so that with the electronics, so they're larger. So I think that's definitely not an MPPT. I could open it up and look at what's inside of it and tell you if it is or not, but not going to go there. Got my propane tanks loaded up for tomorrow so I can get those things filled, and that'll take care of that. So I did take care of the chickens today. They've been fed. The dogs have been fed. And that's going to be the end of the day here because it's getting cold fast. And I'm going to take well, I could close this up later. Let's take a walk down because we've had 2 nights now where the temperatures have gotten down into the 20s. And it's getting close to the 30s right now. It feels like, well, it's probably still in the low 40s, but it's chilly out here. And I'm not wearing gloves, so my hands are a little on the cold side. Oh, I broke a nail. Oh, I hate when they break a nail. All right. So let's go down in here, and I was in here earlier. I just watered everything, and I had some things that needed planting. So I got those in underground. So as you can see, it's been watered here all through. Even with two nights of below freezing temperatures, all 3 of my avocado trees are still doing fine. So that's interesting. I wonder if it's because I tempered them enough through last year by not putting them away and just putting a light cover over the top of them, that they're able to withstand the cold. But we'll find out. We'll see what's going to happen later on through the season. All right, so tomatoes still doing just fine. Yeah, that one says, "Eat me, eat me." Not quite ripe. Now this one is ripe. Oh my God. One was a little on the sour side. Number 2 was really sweet. Tomatoes over there, looking okay. 2 down on the ground down there, looking okay. So, yeah, I don't think there's a problem. They're making it through the cold. Isn't that interesting? So everything's been watered and soaked real good. And believe it or not, watering plants before a freeze, and I'm not talking about a hard freeze where you're going to have 8, 10, 12, 15 hours, 16 hours, or 2 days of straight below freezing temperatures. But if you're going to have a night or 2 that are going to drop below freezing, and then it gets up to the 50s and 60s during the day, then you can actually protect plants by giving them a good soaking, watering the ground really well and getting it really wet. That's a little gardener's trick that's been going around for a lot of years. I did plant a couple of half onions in here that I had left over in the house, so they're in the ground. And then I had a bunch of plums that went past their prime, and they started leaking juices, and I was getting a few fruit flies in the cabin, so I had to get those out of there. So I planted a couple right here, and then this box right over here, I planted 2 rows of whole plums. The flesh, the skin, the pits, everything. I planted 2 rows of them there. So we'll see if anything comes up out of that. My neighbor up the road also has some really hot peppers that she's holding to do some plants to see if we can actually get those things to grow. And I told her I wouldn't be doing those until the springtime because it's too cold. But I may change my mind on that. And Letty, I may take those and I'll plant them indoors and see if I can't get them to sprout indoors. And then when the springtime comes, they'll be ready to come outdoors. Good idea, huh? So that's that. And this is this. And Pierre sent me some garden jokes, and it says, don't tell secrets in the garden, because the corn has ears, the potatoes have eyes, and the beanstalk, you get it? So, yeah, I know. But it was pretty neat that, Pierre from Heat Seeker Bus, who came here back in 2020, well, actually 2019, and stayed until 2020. And I enjoyed his company. He's a great guy. So if any of you closer to him, he lives up in northern Ontario, I think it is, Canada. Anybody closer to him, I would like to invite him over. to give them a little bit of warmth for the winter, give him a shout. Maybe he can make it over there. I did. He said he might not be able to make it this year, so we'll see. The economy is pretty bad, so I can understand that. All right, everybody. That's all there is. I'm going to head towards the garden, so I mean head towards the containers, so I can close up over there. And I got my other solar panels here from the Harbor Freight, 15 watters. That's 45 watts there. I got those that I took off of the van, so I'm going to separate them out and then test them to see if they're still putting out the proper voltage and proper amperage. And if they are, then I'll mount them all on a single rack so I could use it with my portable battery that I use for transferring water. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Don't forget your thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. And oh yeah, don't forget comments and questions at the bottom. G Bear signing off.